Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for March 2024. So on March 9th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, successfully completing his journey through the zodiac wheel, moving out of the final degrees of Pisces energy and jumping into Aries energy. So this is going to be a welcome shift for all of us. First of all, Mercury's time in Pisces energy, very confusing, very interpretive, very, I'm going to say, imaginative, but we didn't really come to a whole lot of points of clarity. We had a very hard time trying to understand what was going on within us, let alone how to communicate that and articulate some of our thoughts and feelings outside of us. Yes, we were probably downloaded with some really good ideas, especially where creative projects and creative solutions are concerned, but we didn't necessarily have a full comprehension, a full understanding of what that actually meant. Now having Mercury move into Aries energy, first of all, a cardinal fire sign, seasons, cycles are changing. That Aries energy is the green light go ahead for us to actually start moving forward. But here's the thing. Mercury is moving forward in this Aries energy long before the sun is going to reach this Aries energy, which means that our headspace is leading us. Our thoughts, our ideas, the decisions that we have, the options that we have, this is going to be a intellectual time for us to decide and align with a new path, with a new direction, with new ideas, long before the sun actually enters into that Aries energy, which will give us the physical energy needed to take action and make moves. So with Mercury in this fire energy, first of all, we can expect there to be a very high acceleration and pressurized energy take over our mental plane. And it's not a bad thing, but we do have to kind of watch out for a couple of things. We're going to unpack it here and now. Mercury in this Aries energy is going to allow us to come to particular decisions, going to help us kind of rip the rear view mirror off of the car. We're not looking back. We've done enough of that, especially with our time in Pisces season. Instead, the Aries energy just wants us to look forward. There's an aggression here. There's a straightforwardness here. We're definitely going to see that manifest in our communication styles, but we are kind of breaking away from the group thought, which is good. And we are really pushing the boundaries of our thoughts, of our ideas, what it is that we want to do from here. Again, we've been very confused on the path, the plan, the strategy. This is going to help us kind of not only decide on the right course of action, but prepare, get our ducks in a row so that when the sun actually moves into this Aries energy, triggering that equinox, resetting the karmic scales, really giving us new options and opportunities for karmic cycles, we will have the path, the plan, the strategy nailed down. Now, the caution that comes here is that we could be too impatient. We could jump into things. We could make decisions out of haste, which we don't want to do. We could have verbal vomit in a situation where now we're starting to be able to understand and articulate and therefore communicate a lot of the inner thoughts, the inner feelings that we weren't able to previously express. There's a verbal vomit situation here, and it comes off a little bit rushed, a little bit pressurized, a little bit straightforward, a little bit in your face, which of course, not everybody responds well to. So we have to be a little bit cautiously aware that we don't overload other people with our ideas, with our thoughts and emotions, because it's not going to be very well received and we could actually stir the pot, so to speak. Here's another faucet to this. We're going to have Mercury in this Aries energy until like May, which is a very long time. And you're going to say, well, why are we sitting in this for a very long time? Well, that is due to our very first Mercury retrograde taking place in this Aries energy. We will be jumping into that at the very beginning of April, which just happens to be smack dab in the middle of not only initiating this new cycle, this new karmic chapter, jumping into a new astrology year, but we will be going retrograde smack dab in eclipse season. That is right. So the majority of April, from like the 1st to the 25th, we are under a Mercury retrograde. And that's why Again, we will go direct towards the end of April, post-eclipse season, and then we are going to have to gain momentum by retracing our steps through the degrees that Mercury has already accomplished before going retrograde, and that will take us all the way into May. And if you've listened to this 2024 year ahead forecast that I put out, you would know that May is going to be a major, major banger of a month. Why is that, you may ask? Because Jupiter is on the move. Again, I'm going to recommend you go ahead to take a listen to that. Really kind of understand the domino effects of this cosmic game that we are playing, because things are going to get super, super interesting moving forward. So, another interesting dynamic that I feel I should point out is that Mercury is going to move into this Aries energy. We're going to kind of feel a little bit of a spitfire kind of take over our mental plane and our mouths, let's say, because we're going to have a lot to say that we're going to have to get out of our body, off of our chest, out of our head. That's where the verbal vomit comes in. But not only 24 hours after that, we're going to have our new moon in Pisces, which of course is the beginning of the end. There's a whole astro forecast for that coming at you. And then 24 hours after that, we have Venus on the move, moving into Piscean energy. And then we're going to sit in that for approximately a week, week and a half, as we close the door on Pisces season and this old astrological calendar, and anticipate jumping into a brand new astrological year, brand new karmic chapter when the sun moves into Aries energy on the 19th. So this is kind of giving us an opportunity to get our head right, to get our focus right, to get the details right. But the downfall, the downside, of course, is that Mercury being in this Aries energy, we're very impatient. We want to rush through everything. And the last thing we want to do is rush, because what we are setting the tone for right now is going to be long lasting. So if we rush this process, if we jump into making decisions that we are not well informed about, that we're just making just to stop thinking about it, we could be creating a little bit of a shitstorm for ourselves, which we absolutely do not want. We are going to see a major acceleration in the events that we are going to be kind of living through over the next couple of weeks, starting with this Mercury moving into Aries energy. This is going to be the fire activation that we need in order to dissolve and dissipate some of the water energy that we're currently sitting in. This is why we're overly emotional, why we're overly confused, why we are doing the deep-seated shadow work in this Piscean season. There's so much water, and we're not thinking clearly. We're not kind of, coming to a lot of decision points, a lot of agreement points on where it is that we're going from here, because we're caught up in the feels. And so having Mercury move into this fire energy, as dramatic of a shift as this is going to be for us, as pressurized as our heads may feel because of this, it is putting us in a better energy for us to get our focus right, to get our mind right, to get the details right, so that we have a formulated plan ready to go when we are gifted with the green light go ahead. And again, the sun actually moves into Aries energy, restoring our physical energy, rebirthing our soul and our spirit, resurrecting a new passion and new desire within us. The mind space will already have thought that out. But again, let me just be very clear. We have a very short window of time to gain this kind of clarity, because we jump into the new astrological calendar. We're already in eclipse energy that we don't have control over. We move into the pre-retrograde shadow period, and then we are at the mercy of the cosmos. So it is going to be very interesting shift coming at us here this weekend, with back-to-back-to-back energy shifts taking place. Again, Mercury on the move first, new moon in Pisces really wrapping up this last cycle, and then Venus doing a deep dive in this Piscean energy to get our heart space right, to get that cleansed, to get that purified, to get that in alignment. Again, all in preparation to dive into this brand new astrological year.